And there is a bit of a delay. Hey guys, how we doing? Hope you are well, and I appreciate that this is a Wednesday morning. Most people might be at work, but if you are watching, then we've got Jan here. I don't know how that works. Um, and Jan is currently in Australia. That's the reason why this is being broadcasted at 8:15 a.m. So for Jan, it's evening time. What time is it over there in Australia, Jan?
7:15. So we're 11 hours ahead.
So we're
So
11 hours difference. We've got somebody watching. If you're watching, guys, then say hello. And if you've got any questions that you want me to ask Jan, then please feel free, because this is a live deep dive into Jan's incredible progress and success on our program within his own life as well. Because Jan's gone from, quick summary, Jan's gone from 114 kilos in April 21 to 96 kilos as of today, I believe, Jan, yeah? Correct? 96 kilos
yep,
today?
absolutely.
Good stuff.
96.0.
96.0. Happy days. And
Mhm.
that's the lightest you've been since when?
Oh, since 2015. So that's at 8 years.
It sounds like
And
8 years to me. So the
yeah.
lightest you've been in 8 years. And just as a quick brief summary, how does that make you feel?
I feel great. I mean, I've got much more energy. I can do things without my knees hurting. And when I think back on, well, when we started, I could hardly go up the stairs, and here now I'm in the third floor, and I just walk up that as if it was in the flat. So yeah, I'm feeling great and
Brilliant.
energized, and can focus better.
There you
Everything
go.
just runs off my hand much quicker,
Well, we
easier.
can.
So
That's kind of led me into the first question that I was going to ask you, Jan. Is what was the position you found yourself in prior to starting with us? Almost,
uh,
in 2021.
2021. I mean, that was that was a year after COVID started. So and at that stage, I was in quite a bad place. I'm a veterinary surgeon, and as a key worker, we had to work throughout. Being owning the practice, so was my wife. We're both directors, so we couldn't be furloughed. So can't furlough yourself, but our assistants, they were furloughed on a rotated basis. So we just worked flat out, and that then led to burnout, to anxieties, to well, I mean, we didn't go out, we didn't mix with obviously with anyone, and just drank wine in front of the telly. So exercise, I know, used to. So before we started, back in 2013, I cycled quite a lot, and all of that had just completely stopped. And yeah, I was in a terrible place. My wife was in the same bad place. I mean, she had a breakdown the December before, so that was just 4 months prior to that, and then trying to look after her, look after the kids, having the practice running, and then I just ran out of steam. I came to the end of the road, and I just said, right, if I don't do anything now, I'll be dead. Just period. And so yeah, and then I saw Gaz on Facebook and reached out, and I spoke to him, and and we started the journey, and
Okay, good
I'm
stuff.
so
So,
glad that I did. So
fair to say, fatigued, negative behaviours, drinking wine. What kind of foods were you eating when you were in that
uh,
position?
anything that just was in reach, so and didn't need preparation. So fast food, chocolate, crisps. Um, I mean, we might have prepared a meal once a week. Um, Other than that, it was just anything that went. So if I was at work, I just go to the nearest shop and see what they had there. So sandwiches, and that was sandwich was probably still one of the better options back then. Yeah, loads of chocolate. Yeah, gummy bears. You name it, sweets. Anything that gave you or gave me well thought at the time, so a bit of a sugar high,
Yeah.
and then of course that then drops, and then you go and go, well, your next drug, yeah, be it coffee, be it, yeah, or back to after being hyped up all day, then you want to try and relax it in the evening, and then I'd crack open a beer or drink some wine with my wife, and
Yeah.
yeah, so not good.
Exactly. Exactly, mate. And so you decided to join the program. We had a quick chat. You were 114 kilos, roughly the heaviest you've ever been. Fatigued, tired, eating on the go, stressed. Didn't know where you were going half the time. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I was all over the place. So no focus, no plan. Um, and of course, if you don't have a plan, you can't prepare for it either. And it's so yeah, it was a complete disaster. I
And,
mean, I was yeah.
and what did the future look like at that point then?
Well, very grim. I mean, as I said, I thought that yeah, would I last another year? Yeah. So I mean, mentally, I was just completely drained, and I'd had enough. And then and I saw uh, my father-in-law. I mean, he passed away with 63, completely overweight, type 2 diabetic, and I always so joked with him about, yeah, I mean that was when I was much fitter and he was still alive. That oh yeah, so how he would like to be me. I was thin then, and yeah, and then I thought, well, hang on a minute, this has actually turned the other way around. I'm becoming him because I mean he was about the size that I was 2 years ago. So, and I thought, well, I don't really want to be well passing away with type 2 diabetes at the age of 63. So um, that wouldn't well. So and then I looked at other people in that generation, or my dad, my mother, and saw that they're with a much healthier lifestyle. They're still active at 80. So I said, well, something has to give. Something has to change. So yeah, and it has, and it's continuing to change. So
Okay,
yeah.
good stuff. Good stuff, mate. And you joined the program, and what did the program provide for you? Let's just go through some of the guys, if they're watching, if they're interested. It's like, well, what makes this program any different? What does it offer the person?
Well, I mean, first of all, I mean, I because I just didn't have a clue what was going on. What should I do? And I was also afraid. I'd tried um, to do some exercise programs on just by myself because hey, I believe in so self-made man. Yeah, come on, you can do it. You just have to try harder, and that doesn't always work. And particularly when if you're so well 100 kilos, when you're that heavy, any form of exercise it can be quite dangerous to your joints, to all sorts. So the program just gave me guidance. It was like a lifeline to say, right, okay, well now just start off with some mobility. Uh, and yeah, I'll never forget. And just doing the basic mobility, just to putting the knees to the ground, and that was all I could do. You know? And but hey, it was his first step in the right direction, and just this guidance, step by step. Say, right, having the confidence. Look, you're not alone. Loads of people, loads of guys in the same predicament as you are. This is a path that they've taken and they've got out of it. That knowledge, that this just gave me confidence that I can do this.
Yeah,
You know?
good
And
stuff.
and that just doing those mobility exercises at the beginning, that's enough. I don't have to be be racing to the gym 3 times a day to get from 114 down to 96.
Yeah.
I have to. You start at the level that you're at. Yeah,
And we obviously provide all that guidance, that support, that accountability, that structure, that plan
yeah.
through the app as well. Getting in, looking at the things to do today list. You know, how did that help you?
Well, I mean that's pretty much the guidance. So the plan is already there. The program is there. You just have to schedule it into your day. And that's just so it makes it so easy. And yeah, and the most important thing, as I said, it makes it believable. You can start believing in yourself. Whereas beforehand, I mean, yeah, I was at the end of my tether. I didn't believe I could carry on, let alone actually, yeah, change the situation that I was in. So that guidance, the accountability, as you already said, I mean, yeah, was you just knocking on the door pretty much with the app. Hey, Jan, well, why didn't you do this? I thought, oh, okay, Jan, I need to still get my steps in, or yeah, and just also some encouragement. So also in the group, just pressing a like to say, yeah, look, you've got that, you've ticked that box today. You've got 3 boxes, yeah, 3 things to do today. Yeah, yeah, eat your protein, do your mobility, and what I think I started off with 5,000 steps. That was all that I could do. Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't, yeah, anything further, and I was exhausted from walking. I mean,
So
that's and
let's fast forward then. Let's fast forward and let's you that's where you were, but you're now 96 kilos. What's life look like now?
well, it's quite a bit different. So yeah, I mean, I've got much more energy, and yeah, I moved just a slight distance, so from Wales to Melbourne. And yeah, and I mean, I eat healthily. Um, I'm a different person, so I've now with the well, going by the steps. I mean, I set myself a challenge. So when I arrived in Melbourne on the 10th, so I said, right, from that Sunday onwards, I'm not going to go below 10,000 steps from then until Easter. And yeah, and I've done that without any problems. I think the highest step count was 24,000.
Wow.
So and that's but it's I wouldn't say effortless, but it's normal.
Yeah.
It's what I do now.
Well,
Yeah,
you've changed your personal standards. So
yeah,
before 5,000 steps was a chore and difficult, and now 5,000 is super easy. It's like driving a car, isn't it? Sometimes you jump in the car for the first time and everything seems daunting, but after a while you drive without even thinking. You're on
yeah,
autopilot mode. So it's the same kind of concept, and I think where a lot of guys go wrong to begin with is they set themselves the standards too high, fail to achieve them, frustrated
yeah,
at the fact that they can't achieve those standards, and then they give up.
yeah. Well, I
Where
mean, I was in the same. I mean, I did exactly that. I mean, I started off putting my standards far too high, and then I was beating myself up for not achieving those goals. Um, and yeah, and you were the one who then said, look, first of all, set the goals realistically. You're not going to jump from 5,000 to 20 plus. It's not gonna happen. But move it from 5 to 7, and then from 7 thing to 8 to 10, and so forth. Just
yeah,
little steps, but the continuity of those little steps, uh,
yeah,
they can get you there. I mean, how do you climb a mountain? Well, one step at a time.
yeah, the
Uh,
boring
so
way, the boring way.
yeah, but it's just consistency, and then yeah, and then if you get to a place where you can't get past or so, well then you try a different route and a different route,
Yeah, and
and that's yeah.
sorry to cut in there, mate, but what you mentioned their consistency. What have been your keys to consistency? What's kept you on? Bearing in mind that just for the listening audience, you've everything's not been plain sailing here. You know, you've
Oh
lost
no.
weight, you've put weight on, you've lost weight, you've put weight on. You're a net total of 18 kilos down from when you started with us. You've probably lost about 30 kilos in total
Yeah.
if you add up the
Um,
stuff you've put on to then had to lose to put on to then had to lose again. So, it's not been this fairy tale perfect story of Jan starts, everything is linear. If I was just to put on for the viewing audience, I don't know if you can see that, Jan. On the graph here, Jan's gone down to about 97 kilos down here, and then he's up to 104, up and down like a roller coaster as various aspects of your life took over. We can go into that briefly in a second, and then it went down again, then it went back up again, and then since moving to Australia, there's been a definite trend down from 102.5 down to 96 kilos, and so what stopped you from quitting? What stopped you when you saw the scales going in the wrong direction? When you didn't feel like it? When you were doubting yourself? When you were getting frustrated with your own performance and your inability to stick to the plan when things were tough? What stopped you from quitting and being consistent?
well, right early on in the program, we established first of all, so why do you want to even embark on a program? Why don't you just want to carry on, sitting in front of the telly and drinking wine? And and my why are my kids. Yeah. So being able to be there for them and do things with them, and and that's you need, if you've got a big enough why, then quitting is just not an option. Yeah, and it's just yeah, and that's probably the one thing. I mean that, and accountability. Yeah, I mean now we've had a minimum of a weekly phone call all the way through, and knowing that I have to face up to guys if I don't do what I said I do. It's just a case of, oh geez, okay, we're all human, of course, and it So if you, I mean, it's a combination of pretty much pleasure and pain. So the pleasure is so the why towards, and then the pain will make it difficult for you to quit.
Yeah,
Make it so, right. If you quit, then what? All the attached negativity to quitting. Uh, you don't. I mean, so therefore, if it's painful to quit, well then, just. But I don't know. The thing is, I do know if you if you want to be good at anything, you just have to stay in the game. So just keep on going. Yes, you'll lose a few matches or so, but if you if you keep on playing the game, get good at it.
yeah,
And and as I see it, I mean, life is a game. Uh, God only knows why we're here. So, I mean, I think we're here to enjoy life, yes, to learn and to contribute, and but it's an ongoing game. It's an infinity game. It doesn't. The only time it stops is when
when you
when we
stop.
pass.
when,
Exactly, when
when
you
you
stop.
when your ticker stops, yeah.
Yeah. So um, I think that's with a lot of things in life. Yeah. The only it's always your decision. If you keep playing the game or not. But as long as long as you've got a reason to, and that's your why, then why quit?
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly, mate, exactly. And you said there that your why is your kids. So how was you being in the position you're in now? How was the high performing Jan? How has that benefited to your kids? What's that resulted in?
well, I mean, pretty much it resulted in me actually being there for them. I mean, when I started the program, um, I was well, I mean, I was working, um, yeah, not 24/7, but as close to that as yeah as possible, pretty much. So I didn't see much of them, and when I did see them, I was in either grumpy or in yeah or just exhausted. So if I didn't sleep, then I'd be moping about, um, and so just by we're losing weight, starting to become active and mobile. You know, and then I started playing hockey. It was when first was my daughter, and then entered a hockey team with my son. So we both said, go on, Neath, play for Neath, and yeah, being able to do things. I mean, we started sailing in the local sailing club, so dinghy sailing. Um, yeah, just through the sailing club. Paul, a friend of mine from the club, he's got a rib, and we started going out on rib trips. And then at the last year, I started to learn to water ski. And he said, "Well, that's
At the
for
tender age of what?
51." I was then, so I'm 52 now, and so well, that's not well, and I mean, this has just built such a lovely relationship to my kids. I mean, well, I mean, I consider my son one of my best mates. And he laughs about things like that with me.
Yeah,
So like we both took up water skiing. And he's been accepted to Wesley College here in Melbourne, and that's one of the reasons why we're here. And yeah, and that's just great. I mean, I can
awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Now I
so
know you've had a number of personal challenges. We won't go deep into them because they are personal. But your son has gone through some medical issues and went through an operation. And when he came through, what was it? Just want you to tell the audience what he said to you that about you were admiring his effort and persistence to get back on track. And what was it he said to you?
well, I mean, yeah. So Julian, he uh, in a within 1 month, he needed first spinal and then brain surgery, and the surgeon after the second op said that it's not unusual for adults that have that type of surgery to just be in bed for a minimum of a week, if not 10 days. And gee, I'm getting a bit emotional here now,
Nothing
but
wrong with that,
I'm
mate.
just so proud of him because on the very next day after surgery, he got up out of bed
Yeah,
and did his first steps. So yeah, and I turned round to him and I gave him a hug and I just said, "Oh, geez, I mean, you're my inspiration, Julian. Yeah, so so you've got, you're just brilliant." And yeah, and he turned round to me and said, "Well, I've got that from you, Dad." Yeah, so we're both each other's inspiration, and that's
that's
as you can
amazing.
see, and
That's amazing because
and he said,
it just shows that you know your actions speak louder than your words, and the journey that you've taken over the last year and a year and several months has inspired your son to such a degree that when he was going through hardship, he's pushed through. And you've been potentially, in his words, you've been that catalyst, which is it's worth that's worth more than anything, isn't it? Really.
"Oh yeah." I mean, to hear those words out of his mouth, that was yeah. I mean, that alone makes this whole journey worthwhile. I mean, not only that I feel much better and can do everything that I couldn't before, but just even only hearing those words. And so, yeah, again, if I ever have any doubt, I just have to go to my why and say, right, I mean, this is exactly why I'm doing this.
And there's
I
been
want to,
small little victories along the way as well. Sprint triathlons.
yeah, that's it. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, yeah, started playing hockey again after, well, 30 plus years without a hockey stick. And yeah, I used to cycle. I've taken that back up again. And yeah, so did two mini triathlons. Now, of course, here in sunny Australia, there are loads of triathlons here. So I've signed up for, first of all, a course to actually, after I went for a swim, and in back in Wales, I was always in the upper mid section. Now they're just overtaking me, even in the slow lane. But I'm signed up on that, and so yeah, watch your space. By yeah, by Easter, I I'll be hopefully doing a sprint triathlon. So that's the next level up from the super sprint that I've done back
Brilliant.
in October.
Brilliant. So,
So
so people are probably dying to hear the nuts and bolts of how you did it, Jan. So, let's dig down, and you don't have to be too specific, but nutrition wise, what was the change? What was the change with nutrition?
well,
Bearing in mind that we'll take alcohol into that as well.
yeah. That was the first thing. Just um, from geez, when I look back, most evenings finishing a bottle of wine, yeah, and and from that, just to say, right, I didn't want to go cold turkey or anything like that, but just first of all, it was just a right, okay, well, I'll give myself 2 days where I'll have some, yeah, any form of alcohol, and that was after hockey training, yeah, getting together with some mates and having a pint, fine, and then maybe once on the weekend. So just cutting that down. So not cutting everything out, but just cutting it down.
So
And
no
then
restriction. So no, you're
hmm,
not eliminating anything from your intake. You're reducing the amount you have of the stuff that's not serving you.
and as it is with any form of you can even call it addiction. If you look at alcohol or sweets or any of that, that urge to consume. I mean, if you're not completely dependent on it, but that urge to consume that'll go after a few minutes. So just by saying, right, when I'm not, yes, I'm going to have that pint, or I'm going to have that chocolate, but not now. I'll do that later.
Yeah.
No? And just having yeah, a meal plan to say, right, okay, well, what am I gonna eat? And I just put it well on cards. Just okay, so right, okay, what kind of breakfast do I like that's reasonably healthy? Yeah, okay, I'll eat porridge. Yeah, fine. And just put yeah, I think I had five different breakfasts that I'd
Yeah.
like. The same. So just had think of five different things for lunch, and I made it a habit of on my way home from work just to ring the wife and say, right, okay, well, have you got a plan for tea? And if not, I have. I've got it on the card. I'll just
Yeah.
say, right, okay, well, shuffle. Or in that case, if you don't have a plan, well, it'll be
So you were making things
chicken.
happen as well. So you were drinking less, eating healthier, less convenience foods, and you
Yeah,
had a plan. You took action,
yeah,
and you were taking responsibility by the sounds of it as well. So if rather than getting home to find that there was nothing there, you were making things happen.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool,
Well, mhm.
cool. And with the training, what kind of training have you been doing?
Well, so in what I'm doing now, or what how I
What
started.
how you've
Oh,
evolved, how you started.
well, well, I said right at the beginning, it was just only the steps, and then I was determined to well, I did so the couch to 5K. So from the NHS, that the app. So I mean, yeah, you guided me through that, and then from that on, I said, right, oh well, I want to push that a little bit further. So then I pushed that then to 10K run. So that was my in September of that first year. I or ran the 10K, and that's then also when I felt fit enough to join a hockey club.
Yeah,
So I'd started to or take my daughter to hockey. So I just reserved that evening. So Wednesday evening, well, that's so I'm not going to be staying in the practice till 10 or 11 o'clock at night. No, I'm gonna leave when everyone else leaves, and that means that's that night I just reserved for them
yeah,
and for me. Yeah,
and you
and
cycling, triathlon as well.
yeah,
So it's
and
been a
just mm,
varied mix. But you've not spent hours in the gym or running on
no.
treadmills and things like that. No.
No, I mean, well, I find that a bit boring. So yes, I do now go into the gym, but it's, I mean, if I'm there an hour, that's very long for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can go on the push bike. I can be gone all day, but yeah, it's well, gym's not for everyone. No,
yeah,
so and you just have to look what what you like doing.
yeah.
And well, I like cycling. I like playing hockey. So go and do it,
Got it, mate.
and
Got it.
just get living. Yeah.
So,
So
basically, it's do what you enjoy, do lots of it, schedule some time in for it, make it happen. Don't go overboard. Start at a standard that you're capable of and build up. Is that pretty much where
and
we're at?
for the fact that you will go off course, that's everyone will go off course.
Yeah,
And I think the big thing for me to learn, where I hit really a longer, or you can't really call it plateau because it was a up and down and up and down and up and down, because it took me a long time to realize when I was going off course. I said, "Oh yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine." Bang! It's not fine. But if you just get into the habit of reviewing your actions through journaling, uh, then you'll notice straight away. Oh, actually, today, what happened today? Uh, oh, of course. I mean, we went to a barbecue. Yeah, a few mates around had a bit. Okay, so then that's why the scales are different the next morning than you. Well, I mean, it's not different to what you expect, but rather than saying, it's fine. No, just it is fine, but have a look on what it really is.
yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Deep dive into what's actually caused it.
cause it, and just
So,
be honest to yourself about it. And I
okay,
think that was I just I was in a bit of a denial. So yeah, it'll be okay, and that then just makes the ship go further off course instead of saying right, okay, no, no, we're off course, fine, adjust and carry on.
okay. So what I'm getting from that is have a plan. You will drift off the plan. Aim to get back on it as quick as we can. You're doing that through reflection and journaling, and you've got to be honest with yourself.
Yeah, and that's it. And I mean, last week was Australia Day. And I did catch up with some relatives, and yeah, yeah, obvious barbecue, and I had a couple of beers. Yeah, so the next morning, the scales were 600 grams higher than the day before.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, well, what are you going to do about it? Okay, sit down. Yeah, have a look on what you've planned for today. Is that still effective? Fine, then carry on. If not, change it.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
What boils down to having a plan. How can you plan
yeah,
to have a good day if you don't plan it?
yeah, exactly. And
Like,
that's probably one of the biggest thing for me. I mean, everyone's got a long list of tasks to do, but the one thing that I write into my diary is what is going to make today a great day. And it's usually nothing on that task list. Yeah. If you're just ticking boxes off your task list, then that'll just lead to frustration. If that's your fulfillment, because it doesn't fulfill you, it's necessary. You know, I mean, of course, I mean, it's part of life that you have to work, you have to do things. You know? But if fulfilling that task list is that's not your aim in life. So what you need to focus on is, well, what what do you want to do today? Yeah, and it's usually something, or what really makes today a great day is, yeah, pick up the phone and speak to my daughter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that yeah makes my day a great day.
So powerful, mate.
Yeah,
Adding things that
and
light spark your fire, light your fire, fuel your fire. You know, whatever you want to say, however you want to say it. It's add things in that are going to make you smile, things you're going to be grateful for, things like that have got to exist in your day. Otherwise, what's the point
ex-
in playing the day?
exactly. Yeah. So what's
So, on that note, mate, what's the future look like for Jan? What do you want to be achieving? You know, if we were
well,
to
I
check
mean,
in 3 6 months time, what's 12 months time? What's happening?
I've already told you about the sprint triathlon that I want to do. And then I want to find a hockey club. So the hockey season's starting in a month. So I want to find a hockey club down under, and yeah, those are so um, my sporting goals. And well, I have to also build a base here in Australia too. So I've got a long task list there. But yeah, but that's my dream. I mean, I've always dreamt of living in Australia, and this is now the time where I can see, right, is it really my dream and my goal, or is it just a flimsy? So yeah, that's my plan for, yeah, for these next few months.
Okay. And what's the
It's
weight goal? What's the next goal?
well, I mean, the next goal is first of all 94. So,
Yeah.
but that was so the when I or when I touched down in on the 10th of January, I was well pretty much dead on 100.5, and I said, right, I want to lose a stone, and I wanted to do that by the end of February. Well, I hope to beat that aim, and then the next step from there will be the 90. Yeah,
Brilliant.
so yeah, and
Brilliant. So you keep pushing on.
ultimately, I want to be well down to 85.
Yeah.
So that's where I'll be. That's well, I was back. Well, geez, 12, 13 years ago. That's where I was, and I cycled from Paris to Barcelona back then, and I was, yeah, 85 kilos, and I was probably the fittest I'd ever been in my life, and and I want that to not be true anymore, because I'll be now the fittest that I'll ever be in my life.
Amazing.
So
And you know, at 52, you're aiming to be the fittest. You know, your future goal in the next year or so is to be the fittest that you've ever been in your life. And you know,
yeah,
rewind 2 years ago, and you know that was probably
um,
just a pipe dream. And
oh
you might have been saying, oh, you know, it's all to be 10 years younger again. Well, you know, you don't have to be 10 years younger. You can just make it happen now. You know, and you
no, and
might
that's
not be
it
the fittest you've ever been in your life, but you can still be the best version of you
exactly.
that
I
you
mean,
can be right
that's
now.
probably more the point. So I don't want to compete with 40-year-old Jan. I want to be the best Jan.
Yeah,
Does that so?
yeah, that makes
Um,
perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. Well, looking forward to it, mate. We'll start to wrap up there. Looking forward to it. It's great to chat to you. It's getting on in the evening over there in Australia, and I'll bid you fond farewell, Jan. So if you're out there watching this, in fact, just a final close, Jan. What advice, if you could just think of 3 to 4 things, bits of advice, tidbits that you've learned along the way, maybe golden nuggets from myself or whatever that you could offer to other guys, what would you say to them?
Well, I mean, I think we've covered most of them just now, but yeah, have your why. Why are you doing this,
Mm,
and then plan realistically. Small steps still get you there, um, and then prepare and execute. And if you need help, get help.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, exactly. I
as
was just
simple as
about to ask you if
yeah,
you were to, if there's somebody sat out there now watching this that's in a similar position to where you were, not so much with the weight thing maybe, but how they're feeling, how they want to change. What would you say to them?
yeah. Well, I mean, the weight thing's just on the that's like a nice little byproduct. It's the mental thing that's important. Uh, so I mean, yeah, that you feel fulfilled and that you're happy with in your life. So I mean and yeah, and I tried all different ways on my own before reaching out, and well, I'm glad that I reached out because look at me now. No, so oh, cool. So I just encourage anyone who's yeah, no matter how and where you are in your journey, there's there's always something that you can do that makes today a better day. Yeah, and tomorrow another one. So yeah,
Brilliant. On that
yeah.
note,
What makes today a great day?
what makes today a great day? What's going to make today a great day and act upon it? Awesome, Jan. Awesome. Well, on that note, mate, we'll say
Yeah,
farewell. Thank you very much for your time. It's greatly appreciated. And guys, if
my
you are out there, then reach out. Let's have a chat. See if we can help. If not, we'll just put you in the right place. We'll point you in the right direction, and we will go from there. Okay. Right. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Much appreciated. Cheers. Now, if you've got any questions,
pleasure.
comment below, and we'll speak to you soon. Okay. Cheers. Now. Say to Ryan.
Have a great day. Mhm.
Say again, mate.
Bye. Have a great
Brilliant. Right. Cheers, guys. Bye bye.